everyone is doing fine. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to life with Shower My Sweet Baby. Okay, now in this video, please watch this entire video. Okay, I believe this is one of the most important videos I've ever made on this channel. Okay, and today we are going to be talking about hypersexuality and how it is one of the most common but unspoken trauma response in adults. All right, and we are going to be getting into why we need to talk about this and why you should be aware of hypersexuality and what brings it about, or what makes someone become hypersexual. Okay, now before we get into anything, we need to describe what hypersexuality is. Okay, and this is an obsession with the sexual thoughts, urges, behaviors that end up causing distress and negatively affect health. Yes, it can affect your health, your job, and relationships. Today I want to be focusing on the relationship part because that's what I know. Okay, I've never dealt with anyone at work or employed anyone with hypersexuality. Okay, so I wouldn't know. Okay, but I have been with someone who struggles with hypersexuality. Okay, now I don't know why we don't talk about this a lot, but we have to. That's why I'm making this video. Okay, and I've debated making this video, but let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, now we need to understand that first things first, hypersexuality is a trauma response for people who have a history of sexual assault / abuse. Okay, so for those of you who are dealing with partners who are hypersexual, always sleeping around, can't seem to keep their dicks in their pants. Again, this video is going to be PG because I might go off. You never know me. Okay, I'm unregulated, so you never know what I'll say next. So I'll PG this video for the safety of the community. Okay, if you have a partner who is a woman who is like that as well, trust me, it goes back to sexual assault, especially when they were children who were abused, sexually assaulted, end up being hypersexual. Okay, they end up struggling with hypersexuality. Simple as that. It's just a trauma response. Okay, sorry about the crying child. It's raining. I don't understand why there's a kid crying outside. The fuck? Crazy. Anyway, okay, so for those of you who are like, oh, my man, my woman can't keep it in their pants, can't close their legs, it's not about you, it's about them. And for those of you who have had friends, for the girls, if you're watching this, if you have had a male friend who struggles with hypersexuality, if you listen to some of the stories they will say things like their first encounter was with an older woman, either an aunt or their mom's friends or a house girl when they were kids. Okay, so that's how you end up with an adult who has hypersexuality. Okay, and we need to understand one thing about hypersexuality. Okay, it's just a way, because it's not about you. It's not about you. It's just a way for the victim to regain control, but also subconsciously it makes them think that is all they have to offer to feel seen, and ultimately to a person who struggles with hypersexuality, they think sex is a form of love. Okay, that's why a lot of them are always out there trying to see how many people they can put their dicks in. It all stems from trauma. It's not about you. So if you're a woman watching this video and you have been struggling with a partner like that, in girls' DMs, always sending nude pictures to any girl like that, sleeping with anyone and everyone. You see, it's not about you, it's about them and their trauma. So the next time you want to blame someone's hypersexuality on you, on yourself in a relationship, I want you to come back and watch this video and understand that this is just a trauma response. We just don't know about it. Okay, there are people that know about it, but it's just not spoken about enough. We need to understand that a lot of these adults who were sexually assaulted as children, they grow up to be adults who are hypersexual, okay? And they have issues when it comes to commitment. Simple as that. It's their inner child screaming out for help. Now, the question is, the important $1,000,000 question is, what are you going to do with this information? Because, sweetheart, there are wounds you cannot heal as a woman. As a man, there are wounds you cannot heal, especially if that person has not healed from those wounds. And a lot of people, especially men who have been sexually assaulted as children, they see it as a bragging right to talk about how their first encounter was with an older woman. Okay? So you cannot be with a person like that and think you are going to heal them, you think you're going to fix them. There are wounds that are so deep that can only be healed when the person is ready to heal, even if you bring it to their attention, especially if they have settled into that bullshit mentality where they think it's a bragging right that they were children sleeping with an adult. My first sexual encounter was with my auntie, was with my mom's friend. Baby, you were abused. You struggle with hypersexuality because you were abused as a child. So you seek out sex, you continue to seek out sex to feel like you still have control. And oftentimes people like this struggle with depression as well. If you're in a relationship with one, they will be hot and cold, on and off, communication on and off, shit like that. It's not about you, it's about them. Okay? Hypersexuality is one of the most common but unspoken trauma response in adults. Adults who suffered sexual assault and abuse as children. So your partner's hypersexuality has nothing to do with you. It's not because you're lacking, it's not because you can't satisfy them in bed. It's simply because they were sexually assaulted as a child, and that is it. Studies are there, psychology says the facts. You think I'm lying? Go research on this specific topic. Part of growing up is understanding that in this life we live in, there are people who approach life and everything else from a place of trauma. That is trauma right there. Hypersexuality is trauma directly manifesting into your life. Okay? So it's nothing to brag about. I can guarantee you, go to therapy. That is something you need to face. That is something you need to heal from. It's not something to brag about or write home about. Okay? And no one is going to give you points for telling the world that your first sexual encounter as a child was with an adult. But then we see you struggle with commitment, communication, with sex. And when it comes to humans, anyone who cannot control their sexual urges, anyone who cannot control their body, their flesh, is going to fail at controlling themselves in other areas of this life. Simple as that. Okay? I just wanted to share this so we can educate ourselves and know the problem with our society. and why relationships are not working. Okay, I just wanted to make this video to remind you that as you approach this life, especially the dating scene, understand that there are people who are approaching life, especially dating, from a place of trauma, unhealed and unprocessed trauma. So the more you know, the better for yourself. That way you're not going to find yourself seated in your room blaming yourself for someone else's garbage. Sorry, I call it garbage because when you carry it around, when you carry such trauma with you for so long, it becomes garbage. Okay, because it starts to affect all other areas of your life. It stops you from having healthy relationships with anyone. If you are watching this and you struggle with hypersexuality, work on it, because it's not nice. It's not cute. You might think you're conquering, but you're not. You're just showing the world how broken you are. Okay? So I just wanted to share this. Please educate yourself on some of these things. There's a lot of free information on the internet. Personally, I learned this from therapy. Okay? I do not struggle with hypersexuality, but I have dealt with people who struggle with it. And these are people that I have talked to extensively, and they get to reveal that their first sexual encounters, or at one point when they were a child, an adult sexually engaged with them. And that's how they got where they are. And a lot of them, they choose to think it's worth celebrating. So meaning very few people are actually seeking out help and therapy regarding this issue. So for those of you dating, still in the dating scene, kindly understand that this is happening and this is a reality. Simple as that. You're not Bob the Builder. You cannot change that man. As I've said, there are traumas that are so deep that however much as patient and as understanding as a woman, you're not going to. He's an STD monger because of what happened to him as a child. She can't close her legs because of the trauma. And very few of them are willing to face that fact. I lived in Nairobi. I used to know someone like this. She was female, and eventually she revealed why she was like that. There was trauma involved. Even the men, as I've said, I've talked to or had the opportunity to get to know, a lot of them, they end up telling you that they were sexually assaulted. But in their minds, they see it as a conquest. But it's not. Every time I hear such a thing, I'm like, I can't believe someone like that and that close abused you. And personally, every time I hear such stories, I know for a fact that I will be the most annoying, difficult parent. I'm not going to trust my children, my child around anyone like that. Because the abuser is oftentimes very close. Listen to people's stories. They'll tell you, oh, my housemaid was the first person to touch me when I was 12. I first had sex with my mother's sister. She was 30, I was, as a teenager. And these are things people are actively settling into, failing to realize that this actually affects other areas of your life. So the next time you're in a relationship with someone who struggles with hypersexuality, kindly do not blame yourself. It's not about you. This person has shit to deal with, clearly. All right? So I just wanted to share this. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you in another video. Bye.